As I'm recording this on Sunday, June 8th, 2025, something interesting is brewing in the crypto world. Early this morning, XRP decided to make a move. Now, it's nothing earth-shattering, but take a look at this 24-hour chart. If you've got even one good eye, you can see it shot up from $2.17 to $2.22 in a flash, and since then, it's been holding steady, moving sideways. The curious part, no other coin is doing this. Check this out. Here's the 7-day chart for the top 11 coins by market cap. Look closely at XRP. See that sudden pop? That's just in the last 6 hours, and it's unique to XRP. No other coin followed suit. It feels like this jump came out of nowhere. Who knows? By the time you're watching this, maybe XRP is still climbing. Some analysts seem to think it's just getting started. I won't claim to have all the answers, but one analyst put it bluntly, it's time to break out. Guess we'll see. The analysts I follow are split. Some believe a deeper pullback might happen before heading higher, while others think last Thursday's dip might have done the job. Interestingly, more voices are now leaning towards the idea that the pullback 3 days ago was enough. That slight dip could have been the retest of support needed to fuel a strong move upward. And let me tell you, when this thing takes off, it's going to be an absolute ride. XRP story isn't over yet. Far from it. This market cycle still has one major move left in store, and it's going to be unforgettable. Think about it. After 7 long years of consolidation, XRP finally hit a new all-time high. But to suggest it'll settle for barely nudging past that high, only to drop back down and hover above $2, that's just not how this plays out. I'm calling it now. XRP is gearing up for a massive rip to the upside. The charts are hinting at it, and the experts I follow agree. Whether it's immediate or requires a bit more patience, the direction looks clear, up. Sure, there might be one more pullback before the final breakout, but the big picture remains exciting. Before we dive deeper, let me hit pause for a moment and be upfront. I'm not a financial advisor or an expert. What I share here is my personal take, so don't make any big moves based solely on my words. As I'm recording this, XRP is sitting at $2.21, while Bitcoin has climbed to $105,529.00. The buzz started early this morning when XRP unexpectedly began to spike out of nowhere. No major news or fundamental catalyst seems to have triggered it. Sometimes the market just moves like that. Chart analyst Crypto Insight UK caught on quickly, tweeting at 1:24 a.m. I wake up to see XRP green and squeezing up whilst everything else is red. Spot on. It grabbed everyone's attention for a reason. Now, by the time you're watching this, who knows where it'll be? Maybe it's just a blip, or maybe XRP is on a real run. You're in the future, so you already know what I'm speculating about. Yes, we'll see. Here's an update from chart analyst Crypto, posted at 1:16 a.m. earlier today. He spotted it too and said XRP pushing higher after reclaiming the neckline. Exciting stuff. Another update came in from chart analyst Stephos Crypto at 1:55 a.m. Central Time. His XRP/USD chart highlighted a bullish RSI divergence, saying it could send XRP soaring past $3.00 in no time. Honestly, I'd love to see that happen. Stephos seems confident this could be the move that sets things off. Fingers crossed. I'm still optimistic. It's just a matter of when, and maybe now's the time. Interestingly, he's not the only one spotting a potential bullish breakout in the short term. This is just one example among many I could have picked, but I chose this one because, well, it's fun. It's from Bitcoin.com of all places. Check out this headline from yesterday. XRP price watch, momentum stalls, but breakout potential builds. I'm not diving into the article. The headline says it all. Even their analyst sees XRP as primed for action. A breakout could happen any moment now. Who knows if this is the moment? But in my view, it's just around the corner. XRP's price can't hover sideways forever. It's been consolidating for nearly all of 2025, ever since hitting its all-time high of $3.40. Since then, it's mostly been moving sideways. Seeing it hold strong above $2.00 is nothing short of breathtaking. This is the moment we've been waiting for. What so many of us in the community have visioned for the past decade. To witness such a solid consolidation at this level feels surreal, yet here it is. Looking back, XRP has had 2 major breakout moments in each of the last 2 cycles, roughly 6 months apart. History has a funny way of rhyming, and that alone fuels my optimism. In fact, it's hard not to feel excited about what could come next. I'm convinced we're on the verge of something massive. Those double-digit predictions for XRP, they don't seem far-fetched at all. If anything, they might even be too cautious. Time will tell, but one thing's for sure, this story isn't done yet. Check out this post from chart analyst extraordinaire Matsby. He nailed XRP's breakout above the arc back in July 2024, calling it just before it soared. Now he's eyeing a similar setup for Ethereum. According to Matsby, once Ethereum flips the top arc into support, it's primed to blast off. In another post, he pointed out that XRP's rise proved even the most criticized assets can defy expectations. With Ethereum facing a wave of negativity right now, could it be the next to shock the market? It's an intriguing thought and one I've been highlighting for a while now. Price alone doesn't tell the full story of a cryptocurrency's potential or long-term value. Take XRP in 2024, for example. Its price spent much of the year in the dumps. Does that mean XRP was finished? That it lacked utility? Absolutely not. In fact, I kept highlighting how XRP's utility was at an all-time high. The fundamentals were rock solid, stronger than ever. Legal clarity put it in the best position it's ever been. And let's not forget, we're in the middle of a bull run. It couldn't have been more clear to me. Once the market heated up, XRP was bound to skyrocket. And sure enough, it did. For months now, I've been saying the same thing about Ethereum. The setup is undeniable. When this thing breaks, it's going to take off, and I'm convinced it will ignite an alt season. That's how it's always played out historically, and I don't see why this time would be any different. Ethereum isn't just set to climb, it's poised to soar. A lot higher than most expect. Just take a look at the charts. And even if you're not holding Ethereum, you should be pumped because let's face it, Ethereum has a history of leading the charge into alt season. Check out this post from X-Force Global. It's all about Ethereum's wild ride. Here's the Ethereum USD chart he shared. Both of their hybrid scenarios have played out flawlessly. And the best part, the bearish case is officially off the table. This recent surge has opened the door to potential new highs. Remember, when Ethereum was stuck in the gutter at just $1,400, well, it skyrocketed to $2,700. And as of now, it's sitting at just over $2,500. That's one heck of a leap from $1,400, even at $2,500. That's a massive jump. So basically, he's tossing the bearish case aside. Honestly, I never bought into that. I never believed Ethereum was doomed. Why? Because nothing actually changed. Why would I think Ethereum was in trouble when its fundamentals stayed solid? It just didn't add up. It never did. Here's the exciting part. This is why it's worth paying attention. He's predicting the $9,000 0 cents to $10,000 0 cents range as the final cycle target, unless proven otherwise. Now, here's the kicker. If he's right, and many think that's a cautious estimate, and Ethereum actually hits $10,000 0 cents, guess what happens? If XRP reaches Ethereum's market cap at that price, XRP would be worth $20 0 cents. Yep, $20 0 cents. Let that sink in. That's not some wild pie in the sky prediction either. It's just about a 2x increase from Ethereum's current all-time high from the last cycle's peak of around $4,900 0 cents to potentially hitting $9,000 0 cents or $10,000 0 cents this cycle. That's just a 2x increase, which is pretty standard in the world of crypto, right? Nothing too crazy. Now, let's talk about XRP. Historically, it's shown it can aim for that coveted number 2 spot in market cap. Imagine if it knocks Ethereum down even briefly. You're looking at a $20 0 cent XRP. That's not some far-fetched dream. It's a real possibility. Will it happen this cycle? Who knows, but it's definitely a card on the table and one worth keeping an eye on. Here's an update from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. This chart shows the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 coins, known as others. And guess what? Another analyst is pointing out the same thing. A multi-year consolidation pattern has been building here. Crypto Wizard calls it like he sees it. A wicked rally is on the horizon. According to him, the rocket is fueling up. Launch day is nearing for altcoins. The ascending triangle is almost fully matured. And once it breaks, those others are set to soar. In case you're wondering, others refers to all those altcoins outside the top 10 by market cap, and the stars seem to be aligning. You can even check out Total 2, which tells a similar story. It's like everything is screaming in the same direction. Could the signs be any clearer? Probably not. The setup feels ridiculously obvious and exciting. Chart analyst Khalil is making waves again with his latest Bitcoin prediction. Sharing this with his 703,000 followers on X, he posted a Bitcoin price chart alongside a bold reminder, be more bullish. His take, this recent dip was a gift. Khalil shared his insights yesterday, referencing Thursday's market crash, and didn't hold back. In fact, he's doubling down with a bold claim. New all-time highs next week. No hesitation, no caveats. He's convinced the next move is up, not down. It's one of the most confident takes I've seen from any analyst I follow. Khalil is firmly in the no more dips camp, ready to ride the wave higher from here. I hope he's right, but even if he's not, let's remember, Bitcoin hitting, say, $95,000, 0 cents, still far from a disaster. Here's an update from chart analyst Zoom, and it's all about XRP's next big move. According to him, there are two possible paths ahead. First, XRP could dip back down to the $1.90, $2, 0 cent zone to grab liquidity, consolidate, and then blast off for its final move. Or option 2, it consolidates right where it is now and starts climbing for that big breakout. Zoom leans toward the second scenario. He believes we've likely seen the worst of the dip already. On Thursday, XRP hit a low of $2.05 on some exchanges, and he thinks that might have been enough for a liquidity grab. From here, he's expecting an upward push. Before Thursday's dip, Zoom predicted a drop was coming, and he was right. While XRP didn't quite hit the $2.00 liquidity zone, $2.05 might have done the trick. Now all eyes are on the charts as XRP gears up for what could be an exciting breakout. I think we'll see XRP move sideways for a bit longer before it finally starts its push upward. And when it does, I believe this will be the final big move for XRP. The timing feels right for it to happen sooner rather than later. That's for sure. If history repeats itself, as it often does, we're likely looking at one massive game-changing move ahead. And in terms of dollars, this jump is going to outshine everything we've seen before. What happened back in November leading into early December and peaking in January, that's going to feel small compared to what's coming. This next move could blow past those highs, just as it did in the last two cycles. Each time the second pump was bigger, bolder, and way more explosive in terms of dollar gains. When it comes to return on investment, it really depends on your timing. If you got in early, you're probably gearing up for an even bigger thrill with the second pump. But if you jumped on board after the first pump, the ROI might not blow your mind like it does for those early birds from November. Still, if history has a way of repeating itself, this ride could be life-changing for everyone involved. Crypto Insight UK just dropped a fresh newsletter, and there's an interesting take on XRP worth mentioning. According to them, there's a solid chance we might see a dip before the next climb. He's got some bold predictions, claiming XRP is destined for double-digit prices no matter how this market cycle plays out. In fact, he's confident XRP could hit a peak somewhere between $20.00 and $30.00, a view he shares with chart analyst Credible Crypto. Now, let's dive into what he outlined in his latest newsletter, taking a closer look at the XRP liquidity chart. He predicts a continued pullback. Since the recent low, traders have been jumping into long positions, convinced they've caught the bottom after the dip to $2.08. But with liquidity building heavily around the $2.00 mark, he believes traders may be moving in too soon and could be setting themselves up for a shakeout. Let's break this down. When he mentions liquidity growing around the $2.00 mark, he's essentially saying there's a crowd of eager buyers waiting to scoop up cheaper XRP if the chance arises. It's a loaded situation. Then he adds, it'd be ideal to see bullish divergence on XRP where the price dips lower, but the RSI forms a higher low. That's kind of move he's watching for. It would sweep up the densest liquidity we've seen for XRP in a long time. On the flip side, short positions are stacking up above us as liquidity builds. This creates an interesting setup. If we get that liquidity flush, it could trigger a sharp, aggressive rebound to the upside, clearing out the lower levels entirely. From there, the focus shifts to driving the price even higher. Even when I actively seek out diverse opinions from analysts ready to share the harshest takes I can find, the most negative perspective out there isn't even that negative. The worst case scenario being floated is this: prices might dip initially, but then they skyrocket. That's it, honestly. Not much to lose sleep over. Crypto Insight UK, for instance, believes a pullback is likely, but he's still incredibly bullish long term. But that's exactly why I'm pointing this out. I'm calling it the most pessimistic take I can find. But let's be real, it's not even that pessimistic. Whenever I stumble across someone confidently opposing the majority claiming the chart spelled doom for XRP. I'm eager to spotlight their viewpoint, but those takes, they're practically non-existent, except for scenarios like this, which again, are hardly negative at all. Chart analyst Igor Crypto has shared his take on the XRP/USD chart, and things are heating up. His message, XRP TikTok, it's time to break out. Bold words, right? Posting at 2:30 a.m., IMing. Yes, he's that dedicated. Igor points to a key signal, 3 daily closes above $2.22. If that happens, he says, it's showtime. XRP fam, stay strong and steady. Our moment is coming. Together, we'll rise and fly higher than ever before. And honestly, I don't doubt it. Here's the thing, it could take a dip before liftoff, and that's okay. No one's freaking out if something like that happens, right? Anyway, as I wrap up this video, XRP is sitting at $2.21. Who knows where it'll be by the time you're watching? Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll actually take off on a Sunday though. Really? Could it actually run on a Sunday? Well, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Guess we'll see. Oh, and just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any decisions to buy or sell based on what I say here. Seriously, that would be a terrible idea.